Last week, the Chiefs got two key players back, and one of them has already made a bigger impact than expected, especially in boosting the pass rush. This is sure to strengthen the defense as the season progresses. Another important player is also trending towards a return, which will give the offense a big lift. With these improvements, the Chiefs are heating up at just the right time, gearing up for the final stretch of the season. Now let's dive into the details. First up, the Chiefs made some roster moves today. Head coach Andy Reid announced that kicker Spencer Scheider has been placed on injured reserve. Meanwhile, Matthew Wright was signed from the practice squad to the 53-man roster. Scheider had been signed by the Chiefs after Harrison Butker was placed on IR on November 15th. Scheider stepped in and played 2 games, making 3 extra points against Buffalo, and then hitting all 3 field goals, along with 3 more extra points in the win over the Panthers. Unfortunately, Scheider injured his hamstring the day after the Panthers game, prompting the Chiefs to sign Wright to the practice squad last week. To his credit, Wright had a solid game in the Chiefs' close victory over the Raiders. He made his lone extra point and went 4 for 5 on field goals, with his only miss being a 59-yard attempt that just fell short. While his career long is also a 59-yard kick from a previous stint with the Chiefs in 2022, I don't have any issues with him as a field goal kicker. However, his kickoffs have been a bit of a concern. He doesn't seem to have the leg strength to consistently send kicks into the end zone for touchbacks. In fact, the Raiders nearly ran one back for a touchdown when Amir Abdullah returned a kick 68 yards, putting Vegas in great field position. Despite that, Wright's solid performance as a field goal kicker makes me feel okay about him on the team, even if I'm a little nervous about his kickoffs. With Scheider now on IR, the Chiefs are stuck with Wright for at least the next 4 weeks. Now the big question is about Harrison Butker. His 21-day window to return from IR could open after next week's game against the Chargers. Reid confirmed today that Butker is making good progress, and his return is potentially just around the corner. The hope is to have him healthy and back in time for the playoffs, but the Chiefs don't want to rush him. If his window opens next week, they could keep him out for a couple more games, but ideally he'll be back by Christmas time. Also, keep an eye on Hollywood Brown, who might return around the same time. He's got an upcoming checkup with his surgeon, and reports suggest he could be back by week 16 or week 17. That's definitely exciting news and would be a big boost for the offense. None of this matters if Patrick Mahomes doesn't have protection and doesn't get enough time to throw the ball. That's why all eyes are on the Chiefs' newly signed left tackle, DJ Humphries. Will he play this week? Well, both Andy Reid and Mahomes spoke about him today, and it looks like Humphries is trending towards starting this Sunday, assuming all goes well at practice. So let's talk about that, along with the return of a few key players and more. But first, if your life is anything like mine, time is precious, and we're all busy. That's why I rarely take the time to prepare lunch when I've got videos to make. That's where today's sponsor, Huel, comes in. Huel offers no prep meals that are both healthy and convenient. After trying it out, it's been a perfect fit for my hectic lifestyle, and it tastes surprisingly good too. Huel is ideal when you're in a rush, on the go, or far from the kitchen. All you need is cold water, 2 scoops of powder, and a shake. In just seconds, you have a quick, nutritious meal. I love their Black Edition, which is low carb, high protein, with 40 g of protein and 27 essential vitamins and minerals. It's plant-based, gluten-free, and contains no artificial sweeteners. Plus, Huel's meals are designed by nutritionists to ensure you're getting all the nutrients your body needs in a fast and convenient way. If you want to save money, time, and eat healthy, use code HBTC15 for 15% off your first Huel order, plus a free t-shirt and shaker worth $40. That's HBTC15 for 15% off your first order. Check the link in the description below and make healthy eating easier with Huel. Now back to football. Andy Reid was asked about DJ Humphries today and whether he could start on Sunday night against the Chargers. Reid mentioned that they want to see how Humphries does in practice this week. They'll be taking it day by day, as usual. Humphries took some snaps last week and is ramping up his workload this week. Based on how he performs, they'll decide if he's ready to play this Sunday. If he's not, the Chiefs might move Kadarius Toney back to left tackle or consider other options, like Wiley Morris. Speaking of Morris, he has struggled this season. We've all seen it during the games, and his numbers reflect that, especially when he's left on an island. That's where Humphries, even with an average or slightly above average performance, could really help. As for Jawaan Taylor, he's been playing decent football, but has been penalized frequently. In fact, he's the third most penalized tackle in the NFL, mostly for false starts and illegal formations. If he can clean that up, especially his pre-snap penalties, the right side of the line could be much more solid. One issue with Taylor's deep dropbacks is that they've put extra pressure on Trey Smith, who's already allowed 21 pressures this season. Meanwhile, Joe Toyne on the other side has only given up 8. Taylor also has the worst run-blocking grade, right alongside Wiley Morris, so the right side of the line definitely has some room for improvement. The thing is, Mahomes can see a lot when he steps back, especially out of the corner of his eye. But he doesn't have eyes in the back of his head, so he can't see what's happening on his blind side. That's why fixing the protection on his blind side is the most important thing for the offense right now. Even so, Mahomes doesn't think the left tackle situation is bothering him too much. He's played with these guys before and trusts them. When things get chaotic in the pocket, he just tries to make plays, and that's what he plans to keep doing. "Don't get too upset with me," he said during his press conference today, "but let's be real. He's a nice guy who's been trained by the media since he was a kid, so he's not going to throw his teammates under the bus." However, we all noticed his frustration during the last game when he slammed the football after taking another sack in the red zone. He explained that his frustration was more about the team going just 1 for 5 inside the 20-yard line. He felt there were open players, and that drive was crucial, so not executing well really got to him. I mean, he was sacked in just a second, so maybe the highest level of execution could have been holding on for just one more second on the left side. Speaking of the left side, Mahomes mentioned DJ Humphries and said he's been really impressed with him. He's been working hard since he got here, and Mahomes hopes DJ will be ready to play soon. This has led some, including Pete Sweeney from Arrowhead Pride, to think that DJ Humphries might start on Sunday night against the Chargers, as long as there are no major setbacks. Let's be honest, if DJ's knee is okay and he's healthy, why wouldn't we want him out there instead of W. Morris or Kingsley Suamata? Sure, there might be a few communication hiccups, but I'd take that over getting sacked in a flash like an egg frying on a hot sidewalk in California. Remember, DJ said in his introductory press conference a couple of weeks ago that he's ready to play whenever the coaching staff wants him to. So come on, coaching staff, let's get him out there this Sunday. Improving the left tackle play, even just a little, could really boost the entire offense. I understand they're thinking long-term, focusing on the playoffs and not just this regular season game against the Chargers, but every game matters as they aim for the top seed. A win over the Chargers this Sunday would officially secure the AFC West for the Chiefs for the 9th year in a row. While we're excited for DJ Humphries to return, we also saw some players come back last week. Isaiah Pacheco had an amazing run, breaking off the longest run of the season for the Chiefs with a 34-yard dash up the left sideline. Andy Reid mentioned they wanted to give Pacheco about 20 plays in his first game back, and he came out feeling great with no setbacks. I expect Mahomes' workload to increase in the next few games. He and Kareem Hunt each had 7 carries last game, so maybe Pacheco will get more chances this Sunday. We'll have to wait and see. Another player who made his season debut is defensive end Charles Omenihu. The good news is that he spoke to the media today and said he feels great after his first game. He has no soreness or swelling, played 34 snaps, and had no issues during practice this week. That's fantastic news. Omenihu mentioned that he wanted to perform well in his first game back. While he might not have met all his expectations, he needs to be kind to himself since he hadn't played in over 300 days. He's ready to hit the ground running and is eager to get back out there. This is great news for the team because having another strong pass rusher will help take some pressure off Chris Jones, who is playing a career-high number of snaps this season and is doing an amazing job. It will also elevate the performance of others on the line, like George Karlaftis, who led the team in pressures last Sunday. Omenihu had an impressive pressure win percentage of 15.8% in his first game back, which was the highest among defensive linemen with over 20 pass rush snaps. Chris Jones followed with 1.8%, and Turk Wharton had 10.5%. This was only Omenihu's first game back after such a long time, and he made a big impact on the defensive line. His presence will not only help increase pressure on opposing quarterbacks, but also support a struggling secondary. After all, the next best thing to having a great cornerback in coverage is a strong pass rush that disrupts the quarterback. Speaking of the secondary, McDuffie mentioned in his press conference that the goal for this Sunday's game against the Chargers is for the guys to make plays on the ball and regain their confidence. Often they're close in coverage, but the other team's receivers are the ones making the big plays. Let's hope that's the case because Justin Herbert is a much tougher quarterback than Bryce Young or Aiden O'Connell. That's why I'm excited to see how well Omenihu plays and why I'm hopeful this will help the defense step up. With DJ Humphries also expected to start, it feels like things are coming together for the Chiefs at just the right time. I'm feeling confident about the upcoming game. I'll save my score prediction and more detailed thoughts for Friday's preview video, but I want to hear from you. How do you think the team is trending on both sides of the ball with Omenihu looking strong and Humphries likely starting? Are you feeling optimistic about a win, or are you still concerned given how close these games have been, especially against quarterbacks like Herbert? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, let's go. How about those Chiefs?